So what is going on, folks? Junior with S.O.T. Metalworks coming at you live and direct from the good old S.O.T. Metalworks compound. What we got today is we are going to cut out a church sign. Got their church logo. It's just going to be a plain Jane one piece. They're going to hang it on the wall in their entryway. It's going to be one color. We've done a couple signs for them in the past, some coffee bar stuff, little different things. But let's get over here on the Shop Saber CNC plasma table, throw the metal on there, and get this joker cut out and see what happens. Alright, ladies and gents, this is not fresh off the table. This is all cleaned up, ready to go. Got all the slag off of it. Done run it through the wire wheel, the old grinder, got everything shiny and clean on it. Got to rub this down with some mineral spirits, and we will be ready to start priming on this thing. But I wanted to jump in here, still in a little discussion of what we're going to do about mounting So I think we're just going to do 4 holes. So this sign is 36 inches wide, 36 inches tall, round circle of course. But yeah, I think we'll go 1 at the bottom, 1 across here. We'll do 4 mounting points for it. I think that'll be sufficient. So probably won't record that. It's just a little time consuming BS, but we're gonna over here on the paint rack and get some paint on this good looking thing. I mean, I like their logo. That's pretty sharp. So all right, ladies and gents, here we go back on the Buck Grove church sign. Bear with me while we throw some color down. And she is the good old hammered black. Now, as you guys know, you got to put this stuff on thick. I mean, this is a paint you want as much on there as you can get. So takes a lot when it comes to this hammered color. It's got sometimes it's got a mind of its own too. You just never know what you're gonna get with it. Normally it's okay. This is the Rust-Oleum hammered finish stuff, and I like Rust-Oleum. You guys know I'm a big fan of the Rust-Oleum, but it's hammered. I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of different. It's hit or miss with this stuff, it seems like. It's never the same. So if you use the hammer, be prepared. It doesn't always seem to paint the same. It's kind of weird. But it does cover well. We always use a black primer behind it because with the hammered, you'll get some you'll get where that hammered finish bleeds through. So if you use a gray primer or a red primer on here, you're going to be able to notice that really, really well. So you want to make sure you put the black primer behind the black hammered paint. So it's a little warm in here right now. Hoping that's gonna make this all right. Really need to get this stuff on here just a little bit thicker than what I'm doing. So, but yeah, temperature's got a lot to do with this, of course. Everything like that. And I don't know, humidity, temperature, everything is just hard right now here in the state of Kentucky to get any painting done. It's like 92, 93 degrees. You gotta let everything cool off before you can get after it. Just another one of the fun parts of not having a paint booth yet, but that's all right. We'll get there. One day we'll have us a good paint booth and everything will be perfect. Got to watch spraying this on kind of thick. Sometimes it'll leave some lines in it if you're not careful. Keep that daggone can moving. None of that silly stuff. All right, we got all that completed and finished. We'll come back here in a minute and see about getting another coat on here and see how this does. What do you guys think? Alright guys, got the second coat on here. You can probably see with some of that light how we've got the hammer going. Starting to come through. Still a little wet and a little tacky. I put the second coat on a little bit thicker. Seems to be okay. No issues to speak of. We are going to let that dry overnight and see what we got tomorrow. But I think all in all, pretty happy with that. So I will say one thing with the hammer black finish. It never, you guys know we've got some of these other hammered finishes, but it never gets as hammered look as the silver or the copper. The silver and the copper, I tell you what, they make bigger fish eyes and stuff in there than this black does. So if you're expecting a real fish eye sort of hammered look, black is not the way to go. You might want to go with a bronze, a dark bronze or something like that, because those colors work pretty good too. the hammer seems to rough up a little bit, or the black seems to rough up a little bit, but never gets really crazy. So sorry, cut the camera off, but I hope you guys can see the way the copper is. I mean, it gets crazy on the little fish eyes and stuff that's around there. The silver does a lot of the same thing. It gets really, really hammered looking. I mean, I don't know, different. It's all the same paint, but it always comes out with a little different outcome on the black versus silvers and coppers and dark bronzes and stuff. So if you're going to order a sign in the hammer, that is something to think about, something you want to pay attention to. All right, ladies and gents, we're back on the church sign, the Buck Grove church sign. We have just had a issue. So you guys know we did the hammered on it. Everything looked well. Want to go put the clear coat on it. Everything was fine. A little bit of high humidity here in the state of Kentucky. Mr. S.O.T. rushed himself just a little bit. And everything started crinkling up just a touch. So I went above and beyond and changed the pattern. We sprayed clear coat just as hard and as fast and as thick as we could to get everything to crinkle just like it's supposed to. So it still looks like the hammered look, just not quite the effect I was after. So sometimes this happens. Sometimes the humidity, we don't have a heated and cooled paint shop. We are lacking, I understand. But when you do certain things, you know how it's going to react. And as soon as I started spraying clear coat on, I knew something was going south. So instead of just kind of stopping and maybe having to restart and everything, I thought, you know what, maybe, possibly, I could save this. And I'm gonna say, it ain't exactly hammered, but I tell you what, it is extremely close to hammered, and I would say maybe a better hammered than you could actually want. I don't know how to duplicate this on a regular basis, but I think it is pretty spot on for a hammered finish. I don't know. We're going to see what the customer says. We're going to see what they like, if they like it. If they don't, it's a little more hammered, what I would call hammered, than they expected. But I want to make sure the customer is happy. They're okay with everything. If not, we'll sand it all back down to bare metal. We'll start all over, put them a good gloss, hammered finish on there, and see what they say. But I mean, this is like 1 in a million right here. I mean, you don't normally get this outcome on a finished look like this. So hopefully I get a few pictures here with this sign hanging up, maybe outside on the white building. But you're going to be able to see that this sign has really turned out well. I just want to say that turned out to be a fantastic church sign. I have to adapt and overcome sometimes. It didn't turn out quite the way we wanted it to, but it was really close. And I think it's going to be spot on for the customer. They expected a hammer finish. Now, if it had been a gloss finish or something like that, the customer would not have been happy. But so that's knowing your paint, knowing your primer, knowing what you can do with that stuff, and knowing what you can't do with it. We started getting some blemishes in there, so I decided as the owner to lay that clear coat on a whole lot thicker. The humidity in the air dictated what I needed to do and what I didn't need to do. So it is what it is. Later in the future, when we get the new shop built, we'll get a heated and cooled paint room, and we'll be better prepared. But as of right now, our little small business is turning out some still fantastic products. So, all right, we're going to talk to the customer and see what they say, and then we'll be back with you guys and let you know and give you an update.